We started Copwatch in March of 1990 because there was a group of us who wanted to work with homeless people, and what we noticed was that even more than food, even more than clothes, what they needed was some protection from the police. Police were attempting to rid the downtown area of homeless people, and they were using a variety of means to do that.
I know I hate this game. And if you're doing something right, you don't need to block the camera, right? You know? You know?
What's also happening is that we needed to educate the community, because there was one section of the community that was saying the police were being brutal, they were violating people's rights, that they were harassing people. And there was a whole other segment of the community that had no idea that this was going on.
Get up. Get up. I'll pull you up. Get up now.
Copwatch was meaning to be like a neighborhood watch, except the point wasn't to organize against our neighbors, it was to organize our neighbors to protect themselves from abusive cops.
Was that necessary?
Yep. Are you necessary?
Yes.
We set out to document this activity in order to protect the rights of homeless people, as well as to educate the public about what was actually happening. Early on, we committed ourselves to the concept of nonviolence because we needed to gain the confidence of the community and let them know that we're not out there to stir up trouble, that we're out there to document and advocate for people's rights.
Do you mind this?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, hang in there.
So for the sake of the community, as well as the safety of our cop watchers, as well as the conduct of the police, we felt that it was very important to assert that we have no intention of interfering and that we'll do as much as we can to ensure the safety of the officers, ourselves, and the person who's been stopped, all the while asserting our rights.
So what are you being charged with, Dan? Did they tell you?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm being charged with yet.
You have a right to know.
Yeah.
Through all these different means that we have of communicating our message, I think the police accountability movement has grown far beyond anyone's expectations.
9 News has learned the Cincinnati Police Division, under fire for the way officers use force, will now have the moves they make examined in a brand new way. 9 News reporter Sean Lay has discovered citizen patrols plan to follow officers. And Sean, those patrols will be armed with video cameras?
They need to go. They treating black people wrong. They some bootlegs cops, man. They should get some cops that's on a bar right now.
April 7th, man. Timothy Thomas was being apprehended by some police officers who was just out doing their regular harassing folks. And he was just one that cared about his life and ran. The assassin, Roach, and his lying friends came through this way right here and shot him for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And that is what added up to the Cincinnati unrest.
After Stephen Roach shot Timothy Thomas, it was the 15th black man that had been shot. No white people shot during that whole time since 1995, and since then, a number more have been killed as well.
So when April 10th came, it was like, boom, a bubble busted. And it was like, who would have thought that Cincinnati, out of all the cities in the United States, would have been the first city in the millennium to jump off a riot?
There was always this critique that people say that people were tearing up their own neighborhood. Well, home ownership in this neighborhood is 3%. People weren't tearing up their own neighborhood. That's bullshit. People were upset, and they were looking for a way to vent their anger.
Ever since the riots, you got children, when they're in the car with adults and they get pulled over by the police, they get out with their hands up in the air like that, you know, just so that they won't get shot. But and it offends the police, you know what I'm saying? It offends them, but they can't be mad because that's what they do.
People in Cincinnati are pissed off. I think April proved that to pretty much everybody around the world.
I mean, me being a young black male in this environment, I recognize and came to a solid fact that in order to bring change, it starts with one person. So If I feel it within myself to change, then I have to step up and do that on my own. But with the aid of others, with the same alike mind state, the same goal, the same focus, trying to get to that same place, we can do it.
Is 9 News at 5.
Some human rights groups in Denver say they want to start monitoring the police department here. The idea comes from a non-profit volunteer organization in California called Copwatch.
Our first big success, was the Cinco de Mayo cruising. We had a friend of ours who went out to Federal Boulevard over the Cinco de Mayo weekend, in which tens of thousands of young Chicanos cruise, which is a traditional Western activity here in the United States. You drive up the street, you drive down the street, and you meet members of the opposite sex and get their phone numbers. And you also decorate your car in honor of the holiday Cinco de Mayo. Well, the police response to that had been really outlandish. They had roadblocks that were keyed on what race you were, and we were able to document that on video. Every instance of a car being pulled would lead to either arrest or the car being impounded. What we did is we took that to the Chicano organizations on the west side and showed them that film and got them together and created our first attempt to monitor the police here in Denver. And what we did is we called it United Families for a Safe Cinco de Mayo. We actually got middle-aged people out from the Chicano movement in the 70s and put them on every street corner along Federal Boulevard and had them watch the police as they interacted with the kids.
I was wondering if the Copwatch team got down there with you. The Copwatch is here with us. All right, you got a party, have fun. Thank you very much, we digging it up.
And we were able to make a gigantic change. We were able to get the police to change their policies on how they treated cruisers. And I think the year before we started, there'd been over 3,000 tickets issued and over 200 arrests. The second year we were out there monitoring, we got it down to 15 citations and no arrests.
Sean, I'm kind of curious, can these people get in any trouble by following police with cameras?
Very good legitimate question. Actually, they're okay legally as long as they are on public property, not going onto any private property, and as long as they don't interfere with any of the police activity they intend to tape.